I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option, as Sori says. 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch. Buy our merch.
So
Buy
here
merch
we
indeed.
are on a DJ stream. This is the last of the songs. All of them have been unbelievable. Parkway Drive, Leviathan 1 is the song that we're about to review. This is for the big homie Florian.
And it's his birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's his birthday today. So, having said that, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear
Florian.
Which I just realized rhymes with Dorian.
Happy birthday to you. And many more.
And many more. Parkway Drive, bitches.
All right, let's go.
As if. Did I download that? Yes, I did. But there is no silence. My thoughts drowned out. As I night reaching and closing, resonates through a hollow shell. There is no great wisdom. There are no answers.
Wow.
Dogs of war, they call for blood, but it will not be mine.
Wow.
That's a good line.
Yeah, it is.
That is a good way to end that
Yep.
freaking song, bro. Okay, so
Did you see this album cover?
What'd you say?
Ooh, I love that. The skyline over the city like that.
Oh, yeah,
I love
yeah.
it.
That was, so Leviathan is a kind of a mythical sea creature.
Yep.
That big in ancient Near East and all that. Also featured in the Bible. It's like a
It's reminiscent to the Japanese monster Godzilla.
agent of destruction, etc. Agent of chaos, that type of thing.
Yeah, so they're kind of referencing like that it's anger, that the monster is anger. And one interesting thing that I found out about anger
You
since
got
we've
that
been
in the lyrics?
No, down at the bottom when it was saying about Leviathan.
Yeah, but that's not official. That's just a person.
Oh,
who
well,
posted.
sometimes
That's
they
just-
quote it from the actual
that's just their
artist.
opinion.
Okay, excuse me. Anyway, but if you go to the anger element, I'm still going there because I really like this.
Yeah.
So we were talking one time, and Vin pointed out to me that oftentimes anger is actually the
Hurt.
pain's reaction. So you're hurt, and so instead of feeling hurt because it feels so like kind of weak, you kind of feel like you're on your back. People want to be like no, and they so then they pull up anger because that makes them feel stronger and like they're fighting against it and not feeling like they're just a victim in a situation. Trouble is sometimes anger, if it's not brought back into check, it actually becomes like this song. It becomes the monster that is the destroyer. But let's see. Hello? Did you get anything from the song?
What do you mean, did I get anything from the song? Of course I did.
I wasn't looking at the lyrics, okay?
I
I was following the song itself, the feeling.
There's no silence, my thoughts are drowned out. Screeching and grinding resonates through a hollow shell. There is no great wisdom. There are no answers. So I know that, because we did a pretty extended interview, I know that Andy, who does a lot of the lyric writing, writes a lot of the songs. So I'm assuming that it's him writing here. He's a very socially conscious dude, but he's also an atheist. But what I like about his atheism is that he understands the ramifications of what he's saying as
How
an
so?
atheist. Which, well, he says there are no answers.
Then it becomes. Oh yeah,
right?
okay.
There's no great wisdom and there are no answers. Well, obviously, we believe that there is a great wisdom and that there are answers. But if you truly, truly believe that the sky is empty, then there are no answers.
Right.
And you're kind of left. I talk about Lord of the Flies a lot. You're kind of left with humanity as being, in this kind of on this island. By ourselves without any sort of superintendent to control us. And so if you start from that perspective, then yeah, you're going to end up in a pretty crazy situation. Right? You're going to end up having to come up with a lot of maxims by yourself, and it becomes extremely difficult. I close my eyes, but all I see is red. I bite my tongue, but all I taste is blood. Of course, the question has to be, well, why does that matter? If you're just an accident that popped into... And I'm not saying this is like an apologetic thing. It's a genuine question. Because I always ask myself, like, how would I interpret this situation if I was a Muslim? And so I incarnate as a Muslim, and I go, okay, this is what I know that they believe, and so this is how I would engage with it as a Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a lot of time last year.
Why do you do that?
Oh yeah, I spent a lot of time last year
why?
like grinding with a bunch of atheists, and really just like I just wanted to poke stuff and challenge stuff and say, okay, like how much of this has been thought out? And I'm not talking about atheism. I'm talking specifically about the atheists in this particular forum, because there was all this hype about they're going to debate you and blah blah blah, and it was extremely difficult to get one of these guys to engage.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, I would just sit and watch, and I would watch conversations, and I would watch threads, and I'd be like,
how is this happening?
I wouldn't care about any of that stuff if I was an atheist. I wouldn't care about trying to establish some sort of moral framework. Like, if I truly thought that I was just here accidentally and I only get about 70 to 80 spins around this thing and then I'm going to go back into oblivion, man, I won't
Then
worry
why
about
care
any of
about
this
it?
shit.
Yeah, that's true. Why do you think they care about it?
And I'm not saying that they're wrong to not be that way. I'm glad that they're. I'm just saying when I incarnate as an atheist or as a Muslim or as a whatever or as a Ben Shapiro or whatever,
Yeah.
like, I'm just trying to like figure them out and understand why they're, why we all are the way that, including us. Like, now that I'm outside of like the evangelicalism that we all grew up in, there's a lot of times that I like put that hat on and I go, okay, I'm gonna read this thing that I just saw pop up, and I'm gonna incarnate as the old evangelicals that we were. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I do
Or
that all the
Muslim,
time
or
too.
So for me as an atheist, if I was an atheist, I would just say, I would just be a hedonist. I just be like, all right.
Yeah. But maybe they need that to justify their belief system.
Well, I don't think that's necessary. I mean, I don't think though. I just think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it doesn't matter what you call yourself. They're still moral beings. They're still very highly moral beings. Actually, a lot of the new atheists that I ran into became that way because they couldn't morally justify being part of this religion that seems to be against every marginalized group in the country.
Yeah.
So a lot of them were basically saying, man, I don't want any parts of this shit. I don't want parts of judging people and making people feel like shit. And so a lot of them left Christianity and embraced atheism because they were moral people.
Yeah.
So because of that, you're gonna have.
We were always taught morality could not exist outside of God, as in not that it can't exist, but that someone can't be moral.
Well,
but that was wrong. You
just can't establish an objective morality. You cannot justify it philosophically from an atheist standpoint. But that doesn't mean that they can't be moral people. I mean,
it was always a weird conversation because, like, I was talking to my friend. This was when I was a teenager, and we were always told that if you weren't a Christian, you couldn't do anything right. And then
that's completely
right. Yeah, I know. And so she was like, "What are you talking about, Sori?" She's like, "My mom is the most humanitarian person I know. She rescues animals and she helps children." And she listed off all these like humanitarian things that they were doing together. And I was like, I had nothing to say, so I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I just stuck with the same line I was saying because I literally didn't know where to go with that.
That is something that Christians do a lot. Is they say things like, unless you believe in God, you can't be a moral person, which is ridiculous.
Right.
I mean,
right.
You don't even have to. You can find multiple examples of the righteous Gentile in the Bible, where the unbeliever is more righteous than the believer. I mean,
right.
I mean, good night, Jonah,
the prayer
right?
guy. Yeah.
Jonah,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, Abimelech with Abraham, where Abimelech said, "Hey, I was operating with top-notch integrity here," and Jesus goes, "Yeah, I know, you're right, you were, but don't touch that woman or I'll kill you." Because he had
his wife. Yep.
He had basically kidnapped Sarah, and her husband was not enough of a man to go confront the issue himself. So God showed up and said, "Listen, I'm about to kill you and your entire village because of this girl right here. You better let her go." And Abimelech was like, "Yo, what did I do? I did this with clean integrity, man. It was your guy lied to me, and
he said it was
his sister. He lied to
sister.
you. So give the girl back, and I won't kill you and your whole family." Mm-hmm. We need to have a metal Jesus.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be fun.
Jesus wasn't playing. He's like, "You let that girl go, or I'm gonna mush up your country." That's Jamaican Jesus. I mush up your country.
Mush up your country.
You don't see the button? You don't see the button? You don't want me to press this button? Yeah, that was the OT, bro. So yeah, that's just bullshit that atheists and unbelievers can't have moral compasses. Like, it's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Like it's not my atheist friends that I have to convince about Medicare for all.
I know.
So all my atheist friends are riding like hardcore, and they're putting their money where their mouth is. You know what I'm saying? So, like, That's just so.
Facts.
That's just
Ugh.
such bullshit. Like
Yeah.
they can't do good things. Like please, I mean, come on.
I was like, this has to be right because I've been taught this, but it's not adding up. And I don't know what to say here. So a lot of times when I got in those situations, I would just repeat the line that I was given and shrug like, well, you're the one that doesn't get this.
Yeah.
But inside I was like, man, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
Who am I going to talk to?
Yeah, yeah, and you know, like.
Do you remember us having that conversation?
Oh, I remember. Here's Daniel. Morality is ingrained in us from evolution. We're kind to others because we need to be in groups to survive. He says that with such conviction, as if it's like an open and shut case. Daniel,
here it comes.
Then why do we have in our morality things like a
Make-A-Wish Foundation?
What do you call it? The handicap space in Walmart.
Yeah.
Why do we have a value system that prioritize, like, so for example, when you have, let's say this kid was completely paralyzed, right? And he was out in the street and there's a car coming for him. And then there's me, who is the pinnacle of
humanity.
Genetic superiority.
Right.
I mean, come on.
He is the original man.
I'm the original man. I'm brilliant. I have a YouTube channel.
Strong,
I'm the prettiest
black,
girl on the planet.
handsome.
Right? Strong, black, handsome. I'm very fertile. My genetics are all over the place. I make beautiful kids. So here's this kid on the ground, right? The car is coming for his head, and then here's me, right? Why is it that we have a morality system that celebrates me for dying in place of that child, Daniel? Since it's all about genetics and pushing forward the strongest elements of the gene pool, shouldn't we have created a morality where something like that is discouraged because I have a much better genetic profile than the helpless kid that I'm going to save? Why do we have a morality that celebrates a guy who would do that, even though I'm, evolutionarily speaking, making a bad decision?
Or the guy that grabbed his kid and put him in the front to brace his own body from getting hit with the bullets. Remember
Correct.
that? Everybody's like, what the Well, you don't know what that kid's going to grow up to be. You can see what the father is. I mean, perhaps that kid is not going to be able to benefit our society as much as that man is.
Correct.
So we should celebrate the fact that he just did that.
As a matter of fact, we should take all the kids in that situation, put them in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Because they're just a drain on society.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you think that I'm saying that like metaphorically, I can show you a video where somebody said, yeah, we should kill these kids because they're a financial burden on society.
Yep.
That's like one of the main arguments for abortion is that the kid is a financial burden. So that's not like a thought experiment that like doesn't happen.
Right.
We've got to figure out why we live in a society where I would be celebrated as a hero for sacrificing my life for a child with horrible genetics, even while I have the most amazing genetics on the planet. Now I can explain it. And I can explain why we have a handicap parking. What worldview gets you priority spacing for handicap parking? It's not survival of the fittest. So the survival of the fittest didn't get us a worldview where we have handicap spaces in Walmart.
And hospitals.
You don't get there from survival of the fittest, Daniel. So that's something you're going to have to figure out. As someone that's ignorant of religion, could the interpretation from certain Christians of religion and the abuse of power contribute to the revolts of religion? I think it is the main issue that people have a problem with religion.
Absolutely.
I think I got this friend, he started this Twitter channel called Jesus Needs New PR. And it was just kind of like a satire thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just poking fun at just how horrible we are at representing Christ. I mean, a lot of people use "you guys suck" as a cop-out for their bad relationship with God, but you cannot tell me that, especially what evangelicals have done in the last 4 years with this Trump stuff is almost unrecoverable. And I'm not talking about voting for Trump. I don't think most people care necessarily about what you did per se, but the constant unconditional support of a guy who did and said things that were hurtful to massive amounts of people creates that type of situation.
Yeah.
We are naturally inclined to protect children. People are disconnected from fetuses because they don't look like a human. But that doesn't answer the question. Why am I inclined, and why is society inclined to celebrate the loss of superior genetics for a person with inferior genetics? If your worldview is right and a morality only functions to nurse and harbor positive genetic profiles, then we should have a society that celebrates the destruction of those kinds of genetic carriers and exalts genetic carriers who are completely selfish, thereby ensuring that their genetics are going to move on. So I do think that we're disposed to value the beauty of sacrifice. But the question, Daniel, is why, when many times the sacrifice is the stronger sacrificing themselves for the weaker? Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, an argument can be made that it's damn near impossible for it to be any other way and for it to be a legitimate sacrifice.
Have you seen this? Why is bacteria considered life on Mars, but a heartbeat on Earth isn't considered life?
Yeah, I see those memes, but
oh, you don't agree with it?
Well, of course, it's not true. There's no embryologist that would say that forget a fetus, even an embryo, they wouldn't say it's not alive. There's no scientist that says it's not alive. It's only people who are making arguments to uneducated people. I'm saying it in the literal. They're not. No educated person says that a fetus is not alive. Mm-hmm. You know, remember that time I was talking to that girl and I said, we're killing human beings in abortion. She said, yes, but they're not alive. And I said, sweetheart, how can you kill something that's not living? So, yeah.
That's why you should always just be on the side of truth.
I don't think... okay, so he goes, we instinctively want to protect children. That overpowers the gene. Okay, Daniel. Okay, so let's get away from that. So now there's an 85-year-old guy in the street and he's paralyzed. Okay, his day is over. He's not going to be able to reproduce. His spins on the earth are over. I go in there and save him. They're still going to make a lot of movie about me,
they're still going to make a hero out of him.
So look, and look, Daniel. All you're saying is you're making positive statements, but you're not explaining why, from an evolutionary perspective. If the entire game is about producing the best possible gene profile, then why do we celebrate when people sacrifice their great genes for people with bad genes? That's the question.
Right.
So all you're saying is, yes, they're protective, blah, blah. Yeah, but why do we have a society like that? And why do we celebrate prioritizing the handicapped person if survival of the fittest is the ultimate law? What I'm saying, Daniel, is that you're not living consistent with the proposed premises of your worldview. You're on the one hand claiming that you don't think God exists, while at the other hand you're operating from a Christian moral framework. And it's not true that people just instinctively protect their children, Daniel. We wouldn't have 60 plus million abortions if that was the case, right?
Wow.
So people don't instinctively take care of their children.
Right.
It has been a common theme throughout history, whether it's a Roman empire where you were able to leave your kids out to exposure and let them die, whether it's China's one-child policy, whether it's Mohammedan Arabia, where if you had a girl, they'd bury the girl alive in the sand and leave her to the elements and to hyenas, etc., etc. So this idea that we're just naturally disposed to protect the weak is untrue. Mm-hmm. That's why Hammurabi, one of the earliest law codes in the world, as a matter of fact, I think it's the first law code in the world, has the strong must not overcome the weak. So it's actually the opposite. We have a disposition towards taking advantage of those weaker than us, not sacrificing for them. Sacrificing for someone is actually contrary to our nature.
Yeah, that's what someone just said in the comments.
Daniel, it's not like there would be a whole bunch of people lining up to take that bus hit for that child. Like, we've been in situations where a person was in serious, not really that serious of danger, just any sort of danger, and nobody did anything.
I mean, you see it all the time online. That's why you see all these pictures, videos of people getting hurt, and there's videos of it. Somebody would rather hold their phone than get involved.
So my point is, like, this guy is trying to figure out where he is in this world without direction, and he's dealing with a serious conflict here. Show me war, show me the pestilence, show me the red hands of retribution, and the abyss stares back. That was a crazy line because of that Nietzsche quote. Let me see if I still have it. The Nietzsche. Yeah, there it is. Beware when fighting monsters. You yourself don't become a monster, and when you gaze into the abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. So that's one of those. Oh
my goodness.
Yeah, that's Nietzsche. So it's one of those things where even when you're fighting monsters or you're fighting the abyss, the methodology that you use to fight has to still be good and moral. Otherwise, you're going to turn into the very thing that you're against, which is the whole story of Animal Farm, which is a story of a lot of situations. I mean, to some degree, it's a story of, you can say TYT, right? I mean, there's a whole bunch of situations where when you are faced with a moral evil, you cannot fight fire with fire. You have to deconstruct moral evil through goodness. And so, and you know, that's the entire point of the Sermon on the Mount, which I don't think you even need to be a Christian to read the Sermon on the Mount and realize that this is the best way possible to overcome evil. But what these guys are dealing with is, he knows that there's evil and something to be avoided, although he can't tell us why evil is evil in the first place. But on the other hand, he sees that if we attack the evil with the same evil, we're going to become what we're against.
Yeah.
And that's a very, 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 very difficult thing to hoe. And that's why I love Nietzsche, because Nietzsche was one of these guys that was able to look the ramifications of what he was saying in the face and say, this is the logical ramifications of it. And it was not pretty. It was not pretty. It was ugly as anything.
Wow.
I think that
happens
I require
when we deal with
further
other
thought
people
as
too.
to the issue of morality. There will be a debate in my mind while I shower tonight. Well, nobody needed to know about your shower, but that's why I love the hell out of Daniel Montgomery, because he doesn't bullshit. He doesn't make shit up.
Yeah.
You know how people, they get caught and they make shit up. He's like, no, I got to think about that. Like that's the attitude. Like that's the, you know, and it doesn't mean they come to your conclusion or the conclusion that you like.
Yeah.
It just means that he's going to think about it and not create some bullshit.
And that's more than a lot of people are willing to do.
Well, there's a certain individual who kept telling everybody that the reason he won't get on is because, you know.
Stop, babe. He said he's coming this Friday, right?
Today's Friday.
Oh, and he's not been in the stream all night. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Shout out to Parkway Drive. I really like the song.
Yeah, and
Heavy
shout
as
out to
hell.
Florian.
9.8.
I'll match you.
9.8.
See, this
Good
always
stuff.
happens to me. Vin says it's because I'm white and corny, so people don't expect me to do this.
Look, little mama. I didn't say any names.
Yeah, we didn't
I
name
didn't say
you.
any names. I didn't say
Anyway,
any
happy
names.
birthday, Florian. I hope that it was an
I didn't
interesting
say any names.
song selection for a birthday. Not very celebratory, but at the same time, maybe it is, because I think that this was something that you fought your way out of.
You got us some bangers, man.
Yeah, and you've come, you know, that other song, you know, coming toward the light of it and stuff.
Oh,
like,
Candy. Excellent.
And a lot of the stuff that you and I have talked about, you know, on Patreon and stuff, there's been some real growth and searching, like real searching. Like, you know how some people are like, oh, well, I'll look into that or whatever. Like, Florian will like send me stuff that I'm like, okay, there's some real searching going on and stuff. It's you know, the stuff that, you know, he's reading. I always thought that I was talking to a female, actually. So
Village is crazy.
Vin's
man.
the one that.
You guys
So sorry.
You guys are ridiculous. You guys are absolutely ridiculous. Really good DJ stream, really good selections. He started out. Sometimes I wonder, like, oh, is there like a little strategy or something? But he started out like hard at the beginning.
No, babe, this is again where these songs had been lined up. See the dates on them?
Yeah.
Like it was not planned to do them all together.
Unbelievable.
Unreal.
I'm happy you enjoyed. I loved your selection, bro. That was such a good.
Yep.
It was really, really, really good.
Can you sign out before you answer that question?
DC,
Oh, I guess
you
no.
become a DJ. If you have 4 songs lined up at minimum, then you get a DJ stream. And then
the intro on all of our. Well, no, it doesn't talk about the DJ stream actually.
Yeah, we got to shoot a new intro pretty soon. Here. Kamikaze for DJ of the month. There we go. And we really got to get into the lab and figure out who's gonna get DJ of the month for July. So Kamikaze, bro. Look, what does it say about this guy? It's his birthday. It's supposed to be his day, and yet he schedules a DJ stream on his birthday, and then all the village gets to benefit from. Like that's the type of community we had. Yesterday we had a guy. He bought 7 songs for random people he doesn't know. Like that's the generosity and the selflessness.
You know what's cute too?
Of the village, and whether or not you're, it doesn't matter. Like we're having this thing together. Obviously, it matters to us. If you're a Christian, as far as because of what we believe. What I'm saying is, you don't need to be a Christian to just be a genuine, sharing person. Like God is working with everybody and in everybody. So, I just love our community. Love our community. Love our community.
So start to finish, Florian, this is crazy. So Florian messaged me and said, hey, my birthday's on the 6th. Is there a way that we can do it on the 6th? And I'm like, oh, I already have somebody scheduled. Let me see if the person will move their date. And then Florian messages and says, once Florian found out that they were going to have, he was going to have it on the 6th, that he said, send that person a free song review from himself. Like he's going to pay for the song review, which I thought was super cool. But you actually don't have to buy a song review because I had made a mistake, which obviously God set that up, and I double booked somebody. So the person that's next Friday, Mike, was also scheduled for today.
Oh,
so the day was blocked off. So once I realized I had made that mistake, I just crossed him out and put you in there, and he still has his original date that we had discussed. So you don't have to buy another song. There was no one to thank but Allah himself.
Did you get the projector yesterday? Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Did we use it? No.
No, we did. I set it all up.
She went right to bed, bro.
I set it all up. But see, this is what happened. Stop. Let's not lie.
But when I
set it all up.
He knows what I'm talking about because he was there.
Okay. So I set it all up. And then we started watching something on the mind and how you think about things and facts versus your interpretation of the facts and how many different interpretations you can get and how people have their one thought process and they want to make that fact and then they view the world through that
That's the
fact.
Cult leader guy, right?
So yeah, it was pretty good though. So when that was on, it just doesn't make a bright enough projection on the ceiling because the TV was running. So that would have been better on a podcast.
She fell asleep.
I did, but I stayed up for a while first listening to that thing.
We didn't get to do it. Inshallah, we get to do it tonight, although I'm very doubtful.
As am I. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. It's been a 3-hour stream.
It's been more than a 3-hour stream, I think.
Yes, it has been.
Didn't it die once?
No.
No, it didn't. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Shout out to the homie. I never comment on live stream. It's great seeing you guys actually enjoy the shit. You do yourself a favor and listen to a band called Counterparts from one heavy music lover to others. No doubt, Matt. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you. Hey!
There he is. He's setting up another DJ stream.
Oh, man. I like
compiling.
I never forgot the little clown guy at the side. Shout out to MJ. Shout out to Perk. Shout out to everybody. And shout out to the birthday boy. Honestly, bro, it was really good. And I'm glad. I'm actually, this is the day this dude was born.
Yeah.
And he decided to hang out with us for 3 hours. For 3 hours. Mm-hmm. We don't take that shit for granted, bro.
Yep. Legit.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. That's amazing that people think that's such an honor. That's honestly no bullshit. Go eat, Daniel. I love that kid so much. I pray for you a lot, Daniel. You'll come around soon, inshallah. And stop your
I'm sure your mama prays for you too.
Yeah, I'm sure your mama prays for you, inshallah. I'm good, Ma. Trust me. Don't worry. Don't be alarmed. Yo, hit me if you play Fortnite. Inshallah. Lisa Fernandez, I did not forget that we owe you a chat. So that's coming. You just got to let us know if you mind it being public or private. All right, guys. I got to get out of here. Much love. Love your neighbor. Take care of each other. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone. Happy birthday, big homie.